Okay, so now let's look at explain. Now explain is quite commonly used for merit criteria. Explain is quite simply defined as how and why. So you've done your basic description for a pass. Now what we're looking to do is give detail on how something is used and why it's used. So in this particular example, I might have described the colour and some of the specs of this camera. For explain, I would explain how it's used and maybe why, what's its purpose.
Okay, moving on to the command word explanation now in relation to motivation and to a BTEC assignment. Before we start talking about how and why a coach would use motivation as a key concept with their athletes, it'd be helpful to define this first of all. So motivation, according to Peak Performance Journal, which I just found online, is the direction and intensity of one's efforts. They state that direction refers to the decision to commit and turn up to training on a regular basis, and the intensity could refer to how much an individual is prepared to give to each training session in their sport or in competitive matches. So the job of a coach, therefore, to increase the intensity and direction of one's performance is to use various different ways of motivation to help the individual. Lots of different ways, ranging from intrinsic and extrinsic feedback, to theories of motivation, achievement motivation for example, or operant conditioning, different methods, psychological methods such as mental imagery, positive talk, self-talk, etc. But I'm just going to focus in on one for this particular example. Obviously when you do your assignment, it will probably be asking to 3 to 4 different factors of the ones that I've just mentioned. One quick example could be positive feedback. Why do we need positive feedback? Well, it basically reinforces correct behaviours. So for example, I'm a big fan of Brendan Rodgers, great Liverpool manager currently. He works very well with these young players. There's someone like Raheem Sterling, if he's having a really good match against our big rivals Manchester United, and he's doing the right things in terms of the way he passes the ball, the positions that he's moving into, Brendan would quite simply, during the game or at half time, take him aside or in front of the team and praise his performance and reinforce that he is doing the correct actions. How do we do that? Well, as I said, Brendan's just got to pick the right moments to do it. During football, it's easily done. During breaks in play, sometimes as the player is in the off-ball situations on lots of occasions, Brendan would have the opportunity to put that positive feedback across. But more obvious times would be before the match in a pre-match team talk, half-time, same again, or post-match in a training session. So that's how we would provide positive feedback to increase motivation and confidence and the correct positive behaviours in our athletes.